Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with a brand new video. And today I'm going to be doing the Broncos schedule prediction. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to highlight 3 players on the opponent's offense and 3 players on the opponent's defense. And then give you 1 player that I think we should watch for that week to see how they perform. Now, there are going to be multiple players that I could have put there for our player spotlight for the Broncos, but just know that I just chose 1, and there are a couple players that repeat on here. Just keep that in mind, and, many other players could be on this list, but, yeah, I just highlighted a few. And, of course, before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're 20 away from 100, and also, make sure you leave a like and comment down below what you would like to see on the channel. And finally, before we get into this, I just want to give all glory to God that we've just got so many views and subs this past week that I truly believe He's putting this video out there to you for a reason. And you're seeing this for a reason. And what I have to say is everything's going to be okay. Give your life to Jesus. It will make you so much more happy, so much more fulfilled in life, and I promise you things will get better. And of course, without further ado, let's jump into this. So week 1, we will be playing the New York Giants at MetLife in New York. And for the offense, I'm obviously highlighting their free agent acquisition, Kenny Golladay. He's a great wide receiver. And then, of course, they got Saquon returning from injury to run the ball. And Daniel Jones. And it's like Drew Lock this year. It's his prove-it year. He has to prove it. And if he doesn't, the Giants are probably going to be in the market for a new quarterback. Definitely going to be in the market for a new quarterback. And he doesn't have any excuse in my eyes. That offensive line is pretty solid. You got Saquon Barkley. You got Kenny Golladay, Evan Ingram. Just so many weapons on that offense, and they even drafted Kadarius Toney. So Daniel Jones has no excuse, and he should definitely, it's his prove-it year. And then on defense, the players that we got to watch out for are Garrett Bradbury, Xavier McKinney, and Jabril Peppers. This defense is sneaky good. I don't know if a lot of people recognize how good they are. We got to watch out for them. But, I want to see how Courtland Sutton does coming back from his injury. I want to see him go up to the test. Of course, we got that whole receiving core that's going to test him. But I want to see what Courtland Sutton does coming back from his injury and seeing how he bounces back and performs against one of the better secondaries in the league. Week 2, then we go and visit the Jaguars. 2 back-to-back road games to start off the season, so it's a little bit rough. But on the offense, I'd have them. I have us watching out for their 2 rookies who were teammates at Clemson, Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. And then I also have us looking out for DJ Chark. Urban Meyer said DJ Chark was struggling or something along those lines, I believe. So I do have us watching out for that, and if DJ Chark struggles, then this will probably be Laviska Shenault. But I do like that Jaguars offense with Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne. Of course, they got James Robinson from last year. A pretty solid offensive line. And then DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault. Do they still have D.D. Westbrook? They might have D.D. Westbrook. I really like their offense. I think there's still some room for improvement, but I do think it is a very solid offense. And then on defense, I have us watching out for Josh Allen, Miles Jack, and second-year man out of Florida, C.J. Henderson. I do think their defense, while it's not as Saxonville was, I do think it's pretty solid. Obviously, Josh Allen, an amazing talent coming off the edge. Miles Jack, one of the best solid middle linebackers in the league. And then C.J. Henderson, a corner that I was pretty high on last season. Obviously, I wasn't as high on him as Surtain because I think Surtain is one of the best corner prospects that I have evaluated. Now, granted, I've only done that since, 2019 I've started evaluating prospects. But, still, and I do think this is going to be a test. And the player spotlight I have is another man coming out, returning from his injury is how will he bounce back from that ACL injury, and is he still at an elite level? Because this is another prove-it year for Vaughn. I want him to retire as a Bronco, but the thing is will he still have the juice, and can he still get the job done? I personally think he can, but will he get the job done? I'm hoping so, and I think this is a prove-it year, especially against a decent, solid offensive line, and I can't wait for Von Miller to introduce Trevor Lawrence into the league. Week 3, it's our first home game, the home opener in Week 3. And for the Jets, I'm highlighting rookie Zach Wilson, Corey Davis, and Mekhi Becton on the offense. I think we got to watch out for Zach Wilson. I do think he is pretty talented, being able to throw the ball on the run with anticipation as well. And then Mekhi Becton, just an absolute beast of an offensive tackle. I mean, just a mountain of a human. And will Chubb go up against him, or will Vaughn go up against him? I think whichever will, they're going to have a difficult task, to say the least. I would feel more comfortable with Vaughn facing Becton, just because obviously he's a Hall of Fame pass rusher, and I would prefer that. But will it happen? We'll have to see. If Von Miller is his old self, his prime self, I would not want him going up against Becton. If not, I would probably say Chubb should take on that challenge. But I do think that the offensive line could use some improvement. Obviously, they got Mekhi Becton, Elijah Vera Tucker. Who's their other tackle? I had it in the back of my head too. It's on the tip of my tongue. You know when it's on the tip of your tongue and you can't really get it? Dude, this is annoying me. I know I shouldn't care because George Fant. And yeah, I do think that offensive line could improve, but it's not a terrible offensive line. And with Elijah Vera Tucker coming in, and now they got Corey Davis as a weapon for Zach Wilson, I do think this isn't going to be like the Jets last year. I do think their offense isn't going to be super deadly, but I do think that it's still going to be a little bit scary. And then for the defense for the Jets, I'm highlighting Quinnen Williams, Marcus May, and C.J. Mosley. This is where I'm not super scared of the Jets defense, if I'm going to be honest with you. Quinnen Williams was obviously the 3rd overall pick in 2019. And I like Quinnen Williams. I do think he's poised for a breakout year here soon. But I do like our offensive line matchup against him with either Lloyd Cushenberry or Quinn Miners, whoever is going to start at center. And then Dalton Reisner and Graham Glasgow helping pinch in from the guard positions, which so I do like Quinnen Williams, but I do like our offensive line. Marcus May is a pretty solid safety. I'd say if we had, I would say he's not quite elite, but I would say he's in between the great and good category. And then C.J. Mosley, who I knew signed with the Jets, but I haven't heard anything from him in a couple years. So, that's why I got Drew Lock as our player spotlight here. I don't know. This defense isn't like one of the best. So I do have Drew Lock coming in here and putting up points and proving that he's the franchise quarterback for the Broncos. I have him coming here and putting up a monster game. I forgot to mention, I do think Week 1 at the Giants is going to be a win for us. I'm not predicting the score because, I don't know. If you want me to predict the score in a video in the future before the season, let me know. But for now, I'm predicting the win against the Giants, a win against the Jaguars, and a win against the Jets, having the Broncos start 3-0, which would be a first time in Fangio's head coaching career because The last few years we've started like what 0-2, 0-3. So I mean, a huge start. Then week 4, we're still at home, but this one's gonna be a tough challenge. It's gonna be against the Baltimore Ravens, and obviously, for their offense, I got Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins, and Marquise Hollywood Brown. I mean, this offense is, oh my gosh, bro. I mean, we gotta contain Lamar, make sure he doesn't run and scramble on us, which I'm a little bit nervous with our linebackers because we haven't been able to stop stuff like that effectively recently. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I think Josie Jewell and A.J. Johnson are up to the task. And then, of course, J.K. Dobbins, they're the second-year running back out of Ohio State coming in. I think he's a pretty solid back. And obviously, Jonathan Taylor is probably the best rookie back last year. But, J.K. Dobbins was still very solid. And so, obviously, got to watch out for him on the rush game because, this offense is going to be a lot of rushing. Lamar Jackson running with the ball, J.K. Dobbins options. But then, if they decide to pass, you got to keep an eye out for Marquise Hollywood Brown. Just an absolute speed demon, just screeching down the side. So, who will cover him? It's either going to be Kyle Fuller or Bryce Callahan covering him would be my prediction. Because I do think we would have 3 corners on the field, and I do think Surtain is going to be one of those. So I don't know if Darby will be on the field. So I would say probably have Bryce Callahan covering him. Most likely he'll probably line up in the slot. But even if he lines up on the outside, I'd still feel comfortable with Bryce Callahan covering him because of the speed that he possesses. And then on the defense, it's a scary defense. Calais Campbell, Marlon Humphrey, and Marcus Peters. And, obviously Calais Campbell, one of the best defensive tackles in the entire league. Calais, man, he's making me nervous. And then Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters, some of the best corners, one of the best corner tandems in the league. I do think after an electric performance that Drew Lock has the previous week against the Jets, I do think we're going to have to switch up gears here and focus mostly on the running game. And I think this is where Javonte Williams breaks out and shows why we traded up for him in the second round and shows us how much of a beast of a back he is and why he's our future franchise running back. And, that defense is scary. I'm not going to lie. To pass against that defense, I am pretty scared about that. So I do think it's going to be a lot of running. And who will start? I've heard a lot of people say Gordon will start. I've heard a lot of people say that Javonte will start. So whichever starts, I do think will break out. I do have Javonte starting because a trusted source of mine said that he heard rumors or whispers that he would start. So I do have the player spotlight being Javonte. And even with Javonte and Melvin Gordon giving it their best shot, I do have us falling to the Ravens to make us 4-1 on the season. So that moves us in now to Week 5 versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, so for the Steelers, I have Juju Smith-Schuster, Chase Claypool, and Najee Harris as their 3-star spotlight players on offense. No Big Ben because I do think his career is coming to an end and he's kind of, getting washed up at this point. But, Juju obviously signed a 1-year deal to be back in Pittsburgh, making that trio core of him, Claypool, and Deontay Johnson. And, I don't know. It's going to be scary. And then, of course, they added Najee Harris, one of the top 3 rookie running backs, in my opinion. It was Najee Harris, Javonte Williams, and Travis Etienne. And, obviously, all 3 of them we're going to see this season. Obviously, Javonte being on our team and Najee being on Pittsburgh and Travis Etienne being on the Jags. And I do think this is going to be a challenge for our defense. The question is can Big Ben be an effective quarterback and throw the ball well? Or will this team rely on a great rushing attack by Najee Harris? But nonetheless, they have one of the best defenses, led by T.J. Watt. And that scares me. Garrett Bowles is going to have to be on his A game. If he rushes us on the right side and not on the left side, which I do project him to rush on the blind side of Locke, so Bowles will most likely be going up against him. But if he has to go up against Cameron Fleming or whoever we have at right tackle, Calvin Anderson, oh boy, it's going to be a rough day for Drew Lock. But hopefully we go back into Pittsburgh and Drew Lock doesn't get injured. But then they also got Cam Hayward coming up the middle. I mean, it might be hard to start a rushing attack as well with T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward. Joe Hayden, and then Minkah Fitzpatrick is going to be shutting down the Steelers. Or not the Steelers, the Broncos passing attack. So, I'm kind of nervous, but it's tough, bro. It's tough. The player spotlight I have is Patrick Surtain, and you might be questioning, well, why not Bryce Callahan? Why not Kyle Fuller? Because I have confidence in Bryce Callahan. He's one of the best slot corners. I have confidence in him covering Deontay Johnson, and I think Kyle Fuller is going to be able to handle Juju or Chase Claypool, whoever he's on. So I have Surtain obviously starting. If you saw my defensive predictions, or I guess I didn't post a defensive predictions video yet, but I do have Patrick Surtain as one of the starting corners. And a lot of people who watched minicamp said that he doesn't look like a rookie at all. He looks like a veteran corner and very good. So I want to test him. He's going to have to go up against either Juju Smith-Schuster or Chase Claypool or even Deontay Johnson. Who knows how they're going to line up. But I do think this is going to be a test for him, and I want to see how good he is. Is he going to make an instant impact? I think he is. Or how is everything going to face? So I do think that Surtain will be the player to watch for us in this game. And I do have us losing this game to having us become 3-2 on the season heading into week 6, where we face the Oakland Raiders at home. And the players to watch are Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, and Henry Ruggs on offense. I don't hate Derek Carr. I don't think he's a terrible quarterback. I don't think he's an elite quarterback, but I don't think he's terrible. And then I have on their defense Yannick Ngakoue, Corey Littleton, and Max Crosby. And because of that edge presence, they used to be kind of weak in the edge rusher category, but because of them signing Yannick Ngakoue, and then obviously Max Crosby has been a force for a while, I do have Garrett Bowles as the spotlight player because I think that he's either blocking Max Crosby or Yannick Ngakoue. He's got to keep Drew Lock upright, so I do think that is going to be the challenge for him. And so, I do think we pull this one out at home, having us move 4-2 and heading into week 7, where we're facing the Cleveland Browns. And oh boy, the Browns are one of the best team, if not the best team in the league this year. I was when I did my way too early mock draft, I was thinking, who do they need? And I was looking at their roster, and I really couldn't find a huge hole that they had. I have Baker Mayfield as highlighted because I think he is a very underrated quarterback. I think he's really good. Obviously, he had that tremendous rookie season. He had the sophomore slump, and then last season, he looked pretty dang great. And then Nick Chubb, I do think that he's one of the best running backs in the league. So he's leading the rushing attack. And then either Odell or Jarvis, whoever is going to be the main receiver. Are they going to trade Odell? So whoever the main receiver is, we got to watch out for. And then on defense, it doesn't get any easier. Myles Garrett rushing the passer, Denzel Ward in coverage, and, of course, somehow they get Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah in the middle of the second, my top-rated linebacker. So, I mean, unbelievable. I do have the player spotlight being on Bradley Chubb, but, you know, I do think that we end up losing this game. I mean, this isn't a surprise to me. We fall to 4-3, and we head to Week 8 against the Washington football team. Now, the Washington football team is interesting to me because their defense is amazing. But their offense, I do like. And I like Fitzmagic, but is he going to be good enough to lead them to the playoffs this year? That's the question for me. Obviously, on offense, they got Terry McLaurin at receiver, Antonio Gibson, and Curtis Samuel. So a pretty solid offense. And then on defense, I mean, you look at that pass rush of Chase Young and Montez Sweat. I mean, geez, dude, like, it's going to be a rough day. If Garrett Bowles can hold strong, I have faith. But there's going to need to be a double team somewhere, either whether that be on Chase Young or on Montez Sweat. Probably going to have a double team. And then Kendall Fuller in coverage is no joke. He's a pretty good corner. And funny enough, I have his brother, Kyle Fuller, as our spotlight player to watch out for on covering Terry McLaurin. And this was a tough one. I was going back and forth between it. I do have us winning, moving to 5-3 on the year, and then moving on to Week 9 versus the Cowboys. And for the Cowboys, Dak, Zeke, and CeeDee Lamb I have to watch out for. And I chose CeeDee Lamb over Amari Cooper because I'm excited to see what he does this year. Obviously one of the top receivers in last year's draft, so I mean, the offense is gonna be clicking. Only question I have is, can Zeke return to his previous form? He was not great last year, so will he get better when Dak's back? We'll have to see. And then on defense, I have DeMarcus Lawrence rushing off the edge, Trayvon Diggs, Pat Surtain's teammate at Alabama a couple seasons ago, and Leighton Vander Esch. There's rumors that he's going to be traded, that Jalen Smith is going to be traded, so we'll have to see there. I do have Judy spotlighted here because I think that Cowboys secondary, even though they made some acquisitions, I do think it is still a pretty weak unit. So I do have Jerry Jeudy getting open. Maybe Cortland Sutton draws all the attention. That leaves Jeudy underneath to get open and make big plays. However, I don't think it's going to be good enough as we fall to 5-4 on the season in Jerry's world in Dallas. Next, the Eagles are coming to town, and Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Miles Sanders are the players to look out for. And I think that Devontae Smith we got covered, whether Kyle Fuller, Pat Surtain, Bryce Callahan covers him. Dallas Goedert is their new starting tight end because I think Zach Ertz is going to be gone. And then Miles Sanders is their back, who I do like, but, he isn't one of the – I like him, but I don't think he's like a super flashy back, I guess, in my opinion. And then on defense, Fletcher Cox, Darius Slay, and Brandon Graham. A pretty good defensive line, and then a corner. I have Shelby Harris spotlighted here because line decent, but they got Jalen Hurts, so I have Shelby Harris getting pressure on Jalen Hurts, batting balls down, making him look silly out there. And I do have us picking up the win, going to 6-4 on the year. Next is Week 11. We got a bye week. We got a week to rest, recover from injuries. And then we move on to Week 12, and the Chargers are coming to Denver. Obviously, I got Justin Herbert, who had a tremendous rookie season last year, so we'll see if he continues or if he'll have a sophomore slump. And then there's Keenan Allen, who, for some reason, he just always seems to have a good game against us. And then we got Rashawn Slater, who is their new offensive tackle, who they got in the draft, and got to watch out for him. But I do think we can handle him with Chubb or Von Miller coming off the edge. And then on defense, they got Kenneth Murray in the middle, who can rush the passer, but he can also, I think he's playing more coverage this year with Brandon Staley, former Broncos linebacker coach. And then they got Derwin James back there in the secondary. And this is where I'm going to be yelled at here. Okay, so his rookie season, I can't deny, Derwin James was great. Great that 2018 season. But then in 2019, he gets hurt, right? Misses most of the season. And then in 2020, he injures himself and misses the entire season, right? I mean, what's going to happen in 2021? People say, oh, he's one of the best safeties in football. What we saw, he was, but he's been injured so much. How can you call him one of, if not the best safety in the NFL? I mean, I'm sorry. I can't see it with his injuries. I really can't. If he comes out this year and proves to me that he's wrong and he is, yeah, okay, I'm cool with that. But I don't like going off of just barely over a full season worth of games to fully evaluate a player. So that's why I'm not on as high on Derwin James as everyone else. I do think he is, when he's healthy, he's good. But I want to see another season before we call him one of the best safeties in the NFL, okay? And, of course, Joey Bosa. Garrett Bowles is going to have his handful blocking him. So, I mean, good luck. Hopefully Garrett Bowles returns to his self from last year, because he's going to need it when he's got to deal with Joey Bosa. It is at home, though, and I do have us winning this game and moving to 7-4 on the year. And, I mean, it's looking pretty good compared to the last few seasons. But then we travel to Arrowhead, and maybe things are looking a little bleak here. You got Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Kelsey on offense. I mean, that offense is so potent. That's why I have Justin Simmons as the player spotlight. He's got to be over top. He's got to watch Tyreek Hill, make sure they don't burn us deep. I do have us putting Patrick Surtain on Kelsey, though, covering him. So I do think we limit their offense like we did last year, but I do think that it's still a hard offense to slow down. And then on defense, they got Tyrann Mathieu, Chris Jones, and rookie out of Missouri, Nick Bolton. Well, I want to beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead. I don't think it happens, and I have us falling to 7-5 on the year. Then we're headed to Detroit, where I have Jared Goff, DeAndre Swift, and TJ Hawkinson as the star players. Not a terrible offense. I do like Goff. I like Jared Goff more than a lot of people. But I do like our defense a lot, so I do think he's going to struggle. DeAndre Swift, the second-year running back out of Georgia, I think he'll be great. TJ Hawkinson, one of the better tight ends in the league. Noah Fant is better, but that's just my biased opinion. But I do like our defense more than this Lions offense. And then the Lions defense, they got Jeff Okudah, Michael Brockers, and Trey Flowers. And, I think the Lions are rebuilding up, but I do have our offense winning against them, torching them with Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Tim Patrick, Javonte Williams, everyone getting into the action. And I have us winning this game and moving to 8-5 on the season. Then week 15, we are facing the Bengals. The Bengals are traveling to Denver. Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase, that connection is back. And then Joe Mixon in the backfield. If he can figure things out, if that line is better, I mean, I do think that can be great. But they pass on Penei Sewell, They passed on Rashawn Slater. They passed on Tevin Jenkins. And they took Jackson Carman. I have our defense. I mean, Von Miller and Bradley Chubb getting off the edge. Shelby Harris from the interior. Yeah, I think I'll take our defense and pass rush there. Plus our corners and safeties. Yeah, I think I'll take it. And then on defense, they got Jesse Bates, one of the better safeties in football. I won't deny that. Von Bell and Logan Wilson on defense. I do like their defense. But I do have us beating the Bengals, moving to 9-5 on the year. Then it's week 16, and it's at Oakland. And, we got torched at Oakland last time. We really did. And, I know this is probably going to make some Raiders fans mad, but I have us sweeping them. And I have us going moving up to 10-5. But then in the following 2 weeks, we got to go to LA and face them. And I have us falling to 10-6 against Herbert at home. And then we go and we're facing Kansas City in week 18. And I have us finishing 11-6 on the year as my final prediction. 11-6. And could I be optimistic? Oh, yes, absolutely I'm being optimistic. But do I think it's a possibility? Yeah, I do. I think Drew Lock is going to turn it around this season. He's going to have a breakout season, not the MVP type season that everyone else was predicting. I mean, I'd love that if it happens, but I'm not predicting that. I do predict us stepping it up with Vic Fangio's defense with the additions of Surtain. I like our offensive additions of Javonte Williams, Seth Williams, and Quinn Miners. And I'm ready for this team to bounce back and prove that we're a good team in the NFL. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.